By the way, guys, have you watched Magic Mike?
Yeah.
Magic Mike?
The stripper,
years ago.
movie.
No, the part 2.
Yeah,
No.
I've seen both.
Yeah.
Part 1 was better. He was younger.
But didn't Matthew McConaughey wasn't he in the second one?
He was in the second one,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I think the second one's better because
What I meant, like the soundtrack from that movie is like,
Doom.
like so good. I like it.
Well,
Anyway,
Are you sure you don't like the balls being flayed in front of you?
pole dancing
were no
music
balls,
should
bro.
be
like the
sexy.
like the dancing. I mean,
no, I didn't. Sophia enjoyed that part.
That's so objective.
I
like the
think-
music
I
more.
think that movie
Subjective.
was really well shot. It's like have you seen like that? What's that movie about? There's this form of like dancing where it's burlesque. It's like
burlesque,
the male
yes.
version of burlesque. It's great.
I love burlesque.
What's burlesque?
There's a burlesque movie.
Burlesque was the first
Burlesque the
form
movie,
of,
there it is.
of stripping,
But
where the
it's-
women wouldn't wear panties, but they do the high kicks and stuff like that.
But
with
it's
the
very,
fans.
it's
Like
very
do,
like
do,
stylish, very stylish.
The outfit
That song.
changes to the
Well, that's
choreography
part
and
of
the
burlesque.
music.
It's that burlesque was part of all the comedians and stuff. What was it called? It was a whole era. Burlesque was part of. See, it's fucking happening.
Like in Captain America, when before he's introduced, the cheer
That period.
girls come in.
That period. Yeah.
So,
Vaudeville.
70s.
Vaudeville. Very vaudeville. Entertainment, and you have burlesque and that. Burlesque would normally be the late night show of vaudeville.
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
the
yeah.
adult content
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you would have it was let me entertain you. Da 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 da. That
But
type of thing.
I think burlesque has a lot of class to it.
Burlesque is a lot more classy than I'm an adult dancer. Yeah, well, yes, you are. Well, there's not much
Biologically,
dancing
you
involved. Yeah. We all give ourselves labels. I don't think the CEO of Sean Harsh Incorporated. However, the truth is, I'm just Sean Harsh.
There it is. The truth comes out. Exposed video, Sean Harsh.
Wow, I'd watch that.
Boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Twat. I'm Harshy. This is Ken.
Hello.
And this is Tim.
He's ready to drink his
And we
alcohol.
shall start. Thank you very much for your prompt there, because normally we go too far and forget to drink. We're going to have the cordial cheers. Cheers, gents.
English is difficult.
English is it's my first language. I still can't master it. I've only spent 51 years learning it, and I haven't got it yet.
Cheers, boys. All right, what's on the docket today, Mr.
On the
Campbell?
ticket. What's on the docket? The
I
ticket.
like that one.
The-
What's on the ticket?
You all do have topics too, you know?
Yeah,
Same
but
topics.
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. we do.
I just like how that just reversed back to me. Okay.
Go ahead, man.
All right. So apparently, humans possibly found a way to reverse aging.
So we have found a way of possibly reversing aging.
Okay.
Reversing? Like I can be back in the pubic stage. I can become
A baby
a
again?
baby again. Oh, there's a whole new thing there. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can go, my nappy fetish might become normal.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
I think they worded it badly. I think they should have said stop aging.
I think they say prolong
Yeah.
aging. I don't think you can stop it. You can
Prolong
prolong
life.
Yeah, prolong life. You can live to 200 years now instead of just 100. You know.
Oh, that's
What? Since when?
laboring.
200? Since when?
No, I'm saying with this article we're about to talk about.
Okay, so apparently people who study telomeres, gene therapy, all that kind of stuff, there is oxygen therapy that's
Oxygen therapy.
supposed to work. And given that Harshi has an oxygen machine, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I do. Well, yeah. I don't put myself in a tent each night. But what I do have, I have one of those oxygen generation machines. It's like 98% oxygen. And when I'm on my massage chair, because it's a hard life,
It's a hard life filming this and doing
I put
projects.
my I put my little thing on, my little oxygen lead under my nose. It's a comfy one. No, there's no penetration. It's all external,
That's sad.
and not without permission.
It's just a tease.
And
In the nose?
yeah, it's just a little tube that goes in front of the face like a mask. I don't want someone walking in the house and going, "Oh my God, he's sick."
yeah. Like, you're
Yeah,
like,
but aren't you inhaling other oxygen too?
What do you mean other oxygen too?
Well, like as in if you have the things in your nose, you are inhaling, but at the same time, between the crevices and the cracks, you are inhaling normal air.
Yeah, but it's concentrated oxygen that you're breathing. I mean, you're not going to put. It's dangerous. If you were to breathe 100% oxygen, you'd fuck yourself.
You'd die.
You actually
get a high.
die.
You can get a high, but it actually damages. It can damage the receptors in the lungs where the body can't
Process.
can't process general air. It wants richer oxygen, which is, as a side, which is the problem when people are put on the breathing apparatus for COVID. They turn the pumps up and the lungs become lazy.
Yeah.
And they get to a stage where even if the person is stable, well, that's why they're putting less and less people on the respirators.
Yeah.
They're realizing that putting people on respirators was actually fucking killing them.
I actually learned this yesterday. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
They're doing
which
the reverse.
is new because you don't expect that. You think, I'm putting on a respirator, I'm going to save your life. Well, no. In a frail state, your lungs become dependent on a timed pressure machine working for you, and then they keep on turning it up to make the positive pressure higher to get more oxygen in your blood. And then by the time you're there, they can't take you off it even if you're getting better because your body wants that positive pressure. You can't breathe anymore. Anyway, back to living longer.
Back to living longer.
One more thing.
What's COVID?
You know when airplanes crash, about to crash, or have like horrible turbulence?
What's
those
happening?
oxygen pumps,
Which
they
is,
drop.
it's not automatic. That's delivered by the pilot.
Of course.
Yeah.
What I mean is that the reason why they do that is because it's pure oxygen. And they do that so the person gets a little bit of a high at the same time, doesn't feel fear as much.
Well,
Just take a whip it, my guy.
not so
No,
much. It's actually a chemical oxygen creation. It's not oxygen from a tank. It's actually a chemical reaction. It's two chemicals mixed together to form oxygen. And it's only like a 5-minute, 7-minute spurt. It's enough to go from depressurization to an acceptable altitude.
Yes, but also people don't freak out because of that.
I haven't heard that. That's interesting.
I actually read that somewhere that people
that's
do that
interesting.
for a reason.
I hadn't heard that.
I also read whippets is good for you.
Whippets are great. Yeah.
Yes.
That
Sausage.
feeling of folding back inside yourself.
And losing brain cells.
And your voice sounds like Darth Vader. It's not that I'd know anything about that.
Do you think Darth Vader breathes in like pure oxygen when he's in? Go.
I think. Well, he's wearing a helmet, and when he takes the helmet off, there's
Can you bring him closer?
a face thing.
I wouldn't move him if I were you.
Okay,
Wanna-
let's do that again.
Let's
do
not do
to
that
the
again.
mic.
Let's not ASMR this. Okay, we're ASMRing this. Give him a kiss.
I like my toys.
Yeah.
Up close.
Can't believe you licked his face, but okay.
It's his toys, man. It's his toys.
So,
So don't pass them around.
Yeah.
you,
Exactly.
You didn't answer if you think he breathes pure oxygen in.
Well, I believe he believes something. Because when he takes his mask off, he's got those two. In fact, if you look, if I take it apart, it's like a 3-section helmet. There's little tubes there that I would assume that's why he's wearing a. It's a positive pressure helmet, remember? Because that's when he takes it off, he dies. In case,
I believe-
sorry, spoiler. In case you're like 30 years behind the rest of the world, spoiler.
I believe that Darth Vader, what did it say? Have found a way to reverse aging. We're back on topic, boys, just like that.
Thank you so
Just
much
like
for that. I'm wondering how are we going to get there? We went on such a tangent. It was like, wow, welcome to
But
our
we're still
wonderful
talking
balloon
about
ride.
oxygen. Okay, reversing
So yes,
aging.
having an oxygen machine, I believe, is good. I'm in my 50s, but regardless of that, like I'm a fairly young person. I feel young. I act young, but I like
Too
the
young.
idea of too young sometimes. Gets me thrown out of places, and has people whisking their children away from me. Why can't I play with them?
The sides don't fit me anymore.
So according to this article,
Oh, gosh. There's something wrong with the sizing chart. Sorry.
According to this article from popularmechanics.com, it says as you grow older and your cells continue to divide, sequences of DNA at the end of chromosomes called telomeres gradually become shorter, and once the telomeres become too short, the cells can no longer replicate and eventually die.
Yeah.
So the
He
thing is,
memorized
your
all this, by the way. He
genomes.
didn't read it off his cell phone.
yes. So apparently,
memorize.
this whole oxygen therapy
Shit.
slows down the shortening of the telomeres.
I'd believe that. Well, I just got an oxygen machine because I could.
The
I thought you were
takeaway.
having problems breathing.
Well, no, never. I have problems breathing. Only when I have to. Those 3 steps getting to the apartment really do me in most of the time. No, I got it because I know there are health benefits. I didn't know those health benefits, but I know there's health. Well, obviously, there's health benefits to having oxygen.
I mean,
It's a good thing.
athletes do it all the time. They pump themselves with,
Yeah,
with
well-
a lot of oxygen before a race.
And Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Funny story. Well, interesting story.
Hilarious.
Carol Spinney, who was Big Bird I got to meet him in the early 80s.
Wait, Big Bird like
No,
yeah,
Sesame
okay.
Street.
Sesame Street, yeah.
I always had a thing about characters and costumes and growing up as a kid. And I got to meet Carol Spinney at the Opera House in Australia. And I got backstage and he was explaining to me that when he gets out of Big Bird, or when he did, God bless his soul, he's now gone, he would hop straight into oxygen. And that's always stuck in my head. And I'm thinking, well, it must be a good thing. Because the costume, Big Bird was operated like that and his face was against mesh. And the other hand was like fishing wire.
Yeah.
And he would do like, I think it's like 20 minutes in the suit, which is like the regulatory thing when you do characters. And he'd hop off stage and hop straight into oxygen.
Oh, really?
And it's really funny. That sort of stayed in my head that oxygen is a real, that's a
good thing.
That's a cheat.
Yeah.
That's a cheat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but the takeaway of this article pretty much was: would you spend...
The article? What article? No.
We weren't talking about an article, were we?
Coming back to popular mechanics, what I'm saying is that would you stay in an oxygen machine for up to 3 hours a day to live longer? That's a takeaway.
I would wear one because they have portable ones up to 3 hours a day. I wouldn't just
No,
sit
but you have
still.
to stay in a full...
Oh, I mean in a tent. So they're talking about, this is a pressurized environment they're talking
yes,
about.
your whole body gets oxygenized.
If that was my office, fantastic. If I could sit in there and work, but in an oxygen-rich environment, you really don't want electrics in there.
Well, there's gonna spark.
There's going to be a spark if you're unlucky. Yeah.
Like in Deadpool, in the movie. Deadpool 1, he does and then...
I would. Yeah, if I could make it work around my lifestyle. I don't think, unless I really felt there was going to. But the thing is, I was going to say unless I had a health issue, but by the time you have a health issue, it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
It's too
this
late.
is like to prolong
It's
it.
preventative.
Yeah,
This is like taking vitamin C and vitamin B. You take it because not that you need it; it's good for you.
So let's say hypothetically, if you stayed in a machine for 3 hours, you would get extra 5 years. And if you stayed in the machine for 6 hours, you'd get extra 10 years. If you stayed in the machine for, let's say, 10 hours a day,
Then don't live, just die.
You
Die
would
in the
get 20
machine.
extra years
I
of
think
life.
that's what Michael Jackson was doing with his oxygen tent when he
Yeah,
slept.
yeah,
I'd
when
do
he
it
slept
if I
in
could
it.
do it at night.
Yeah.
Do I have to be awake?
I think so.
If I could, I think so.
It's called living.
If I could, no. But if I could sleep while this is happening,
Oh, yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
I'd get 6 hours a night easy. Well, maybe 3.5 in 2 periods, but it's
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
That's actually a good question. I would personally just let nature take its course and just pass
do
on.
you because what's the use of having longer life if you're sacrificing your life to live longer?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not
But
enjoying
it's during
life,
sleep, it's okay.
yeah. If you can do it during
but
sleep,
that's
fantastic.
an if you're doing it.
Well, it would make sense.
Sleep.
Why couldn't you?
I mean, we don't know. That's the thing.
Although I think the entrance price, or whatever they call
I was gonna say if
Yeah.
my,
How much does it cost?
my reason
Yeah.
for saying no is because I'm a broke boy. No
So
money.
how much would it
So-
like?
No money.
Imagine
money.
the whole pod would cost like $500,000 a pop,
Fuck
So
me, man.
it's a positive pressure situation.
and you're sleeping in at night, and you're living 20, 30 years more than an average person who doesn't have a pod like that. So $500K, for example.
If I had the money, yeah.
Who says he doesn't though?
But I feel like the entrance fee
Not to
has to
spend
be.
on that shit.
A lot of people can afford $500K. A lot of people in the world
Yeah.
can. So I think they should make it too pricey, or make it available to everyone so we all live longer. I don't know.
Well, the only reason it's so expensive is because it's proprietary. If it wasn't proprietary and they made it more general, one, you'd make more money if you just sold license
Yeah.
and made it. And
Like Elon Musk with his battery tech.
well, yeah, exactly. I think. Look, I think everything that is going to make life better should be non-proprietary. It should be out on license or out on. You buy the right to do it. To me, it's just greed. When someone says, "I've got the panacea to living longer," but you know what it's going to cost you, that causes a whole dystopian situation.
But-
it's very Orwellian. It's
In
very
futuristic TV shows, have you seen how they all sleep in pods?
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Probably that's what's going to
That
happen
looks
to us in the
uncomfortable
future.
I could print a
fuck.
pod like that. You could just print one up, and
3D
that's the
print.
thing. You buy the license for $1,000. right? You buy the blueprint, and everyone will have a printer in 10, 20 years' time, or have access to one, and you have it printed up.
Yeah,
You
and then
print
it'll
the pod.
be made in China. It'll be like
No. If you're printing it yourself, you can print it at home with your 3D printer.
3D printing is the tech of the future. Yeah.
I mean,
It'll take forever, though.
to buy a $500,000 versus $1,000, and maybe an extra $1,000 in
Equipment.
raw equipment.
Yeah.
like to print it out. It's a big difference.
You probably then can't sleep with your loved one in the same pod because it has to be personalized, right? It has to be adjusted to you.
Well,
so
no, it's
an
positive
intimacy-
pressure, positive pressure is
intimacy-
positive pressure.
Yeah, but intimacy probably will have to be removed because every single person will be configured to a pod for the best optimum performance because two people are not alike.
I don't
What's
think so.
happening?
I don't think so. I think it's like positive air pressure in an aircraft. Why don't we have separate pods in an aircraft? It's the same
But
positive
we
pressure.
will.
But we all smell each other's
See, there it
farts in
is.
there, you know? I
There
mean,
it
Well,
is.
actually, being in an aircraft is one of the safest places to be during an outbreak. They have the best HEPA filters.
yeah, but then the pilots have to retire early because they have to fly in the atmospheric heights. It's not very healthy for them.
They're not astronauts, honey.
No, what I'm saying that pilots are not the healthiest people in the world because they have to fly all the time, and that humans are not naturally made to fly.
No, they're
that
not.
height.
But it's all about being able to balance that. And we'll bring Captain Steve on one day to have a chat about that.
yeah, that'll be an interesting
yeah,
topic.
yeah.
And he will say you're fucking wrong.
Yeah. or you'll look at me and go, so how are you, 92? 43. No, not at all.
We are ready
He's
for
very healthy.
takeoff.
I forgot my glasses.
There's nothing worse is when you hear the pilot saying, and we'll be, where's my teeth?
Oh boy.
Big oh boy moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Interesting that oxygen therapy could be the future for
I'm into
humans
it. Like,
living
look,
longer.
If it wasn't so only for those that could afford it, I don't think it's fair. And look, there's two ways of looking at it. We came up with the idea, therefore we can charge what we want. Then there's the other thing is that if you really are for humanitarian rights and you think this will make life better, then why are you only making it for the few? There really is no reason for that. Manufacturing en masse makes things cheaper. It's just proven. That's how things work. That's why China works. That's why we have these areas that manufacture in bulk. That's why we don't make things at home in our home countries because it's just too expensive otherwise. I think it's a great idea,
Honestly,
but I think it's going to cause more of a classist situation.
honestly, I feel that beyond like after 30 or 40, I would not do it. I'll just take a natural course of life, you know, just
Well, I'd like to feel more alert, I must say. Like I was very, very active until like the age of 30, and the last 20 odd years, I've noticed a decline. That's why they call it midlife crisis, but I think it's called reality check. It's like, fuck, I need to get healthier. I need to get healthier, and I do. And I'm getting healthier. But one of my main things is sleep. Without sleep,
Yikes!
you're pretty
he
crap.
could talk.
Yeah, I can
Dude,
talk about
you and I should just fucking chat at night because I worked out. I was talking to him earlier. My sleep cycle now. I was getting a bit concerned. Then I saw a documentary about sleep and how sleep was very different
it's very important.
between now and the industrial evolution.
Yeah.
People never slept 8 hours. They'd sleep 3 or 4, waked up. I speak well like that. They would awake and do whatever they do for an hour and a half.
We'll go back.
That could be anything, and then go back to bed. But they come the Industrial Revolution. They had to, let's create an 8-hour shift. Let's work at night. Let's do this. That totally screwed it up. So broken sleep is actually quite normal.
Yeah, which is
Really? 'Cause
And
I never
now,
have broken sleep.
yes. And now, well, when you wake up, if you feel you need to wake up, don't half awake and get the shits and try and get to sleep. Wake up, do something, go back to bed.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
middle
what
of
I
the
do.
night, chicky bang bang is the best, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you really should wake her first.
No.
Do it in her sleep.
Stop! We're not even going there. Flagged.
That was a joke. Not.
He's just
So many
living
things.
Yeah.
So many things. So many thoughts that we just can't touch on. Wow. No, I do it. If I could afford it, I'd do it. Why not? If you can.
The chicky bang bang?
No, Obviously, probably not.
In the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night? Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with a bang bang.
Oh,
in
you
the
meant
middle
the
of
oxygen machine.
The oxygen machine.
Dude, I'm losing it right now. I'm so confused where this
You
conversation
need more
is
sleep.
going. Yeah,
Perhaps you need oxygen therapy.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, would you get an oxygen machine to help you sleep
rather
better?
die at the age of 40.
What?
Huh?
What?
What do you say?
So what? Now?
I said I'd rather die at the age of 40.
Round it out.
Rather die at the age of 40. Is that
Oh
what
my-
you said?
You're a dark fucker.
Bro, I'm surprised I made it to 22 with my lifestyle.
Yeah, but hang on. Are the things you want to achieve? Why are you going to college then? Why bother?
Yeah, why, bro?
Bored, I
Just
guess.
become a panhandler.
I'm
Go to
bored.
Ibiza.
Get a
and have
sleeping
fun.
bag and tape your legs up and drag yourself along the road. Make money that way. I mean, Jesus, man.
40? Really? Is that your? Because
That's like 45's a goal.
for me, capping at 65. That's my goal.
Yeah, I'm. Look, my family has longevity, but the last 10 years are always shit. that's my concern. Whether dementia or cancer. I've got two options by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I'll get dementia cancer.
I think dementia is better than cancer.
I think none is better than the other.
Yeah, none's better. No, dementia's quite.
If you're to compare the worst
Dementia
ones.
is only painful. Like
Fair.
watching my mother go through that now, and she's in the late stages. Dementia's quite evil because they have that moment where they're
They have
aware,
clarity, yeah.
and then they know what they're going through,
Yeah.
and they feel the pain and the hurt and the look on their face when they realize what they're going through. And they're back out of it. Yes, it's very short lived, but the fact that my mother goes through that pain probably once a day does my head in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but cancer is 24/7,
Cancer's 24/7, yeah,
and
but,
it's like physical
but
pain.
you know, cancer's going to be like they have drugs now that.
But they have nothing for dementia.
Nothing for dementia because it's brain plaque and stuff
For
like
some
that.
reason, brain problems cannot not be solved. I don't
Because
get
the
why.
brain, dude, besides
We
the
don't
ocean being
understand
one of
the brain. We don't
besides
understand how it works
Space and the ocean being one of the biggest mysteries, that brain is the third.
Yeah, we
third
don't
right there.
understand. I dated a professor that was doing brain slides. He would cut up cadavers and look and dementia and Alzheimer's and
Are
stuff.
you sure you have all of yours in?
And there were those times there, just like very carver beans, that they just don't know enough.
yeah.
We don't know how the brain works. We know certain aspects of the
Apparently,
brain.
the brain was discovered in 1941. Like the concept of a brain was
Yeah, but
discovered. That was 100 years
But
ago.
in the
guys.
last 5 years, we're only discovering how it actually works.
Yeah.
And we're discovering that we used to think that avant-garde and pons and stuff were responsible for different things. They're
Yeah.
not. The brain spreads. It's working.
You know, I had tried to have that conversation once with a person, and they were like, "Oh no, the left side is cognitive, or blah blah blah, and right side is this." I'm like, "I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the physical part."
Yeah.
Nobody knows how the physical part works.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
physical.
computer.
No.
Yeah.
We're just we are electric. We are electric machines. We are machines.
Hydro machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're 90% water and we run on electricity.
70.
I meant to say 1741. I don't know why you said 1941. That took me back. Sorry about that.
1941.
1741 is when we discovered a brain.
Yes.
My bad. Yes.
We knew there was a thing in the head.
Yeah.
But that was the same time they were trying to measure the body when you died to see if the soul weighed something.
Exactly. Fuck,
So,
why did I say
you know.
1941? That was like World War II era. My bad.
No, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like, there's things now that we're only realizing that we thought we knew.
Yeah.
That was science.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about science. Science lives to disprove itself, which is fantastic. I mean, look, it's evolution.
It is evolution.
Science never says this is the way it is. Science says this is what we know now. That's what I like about science.
Yeah.
You know, back in my depression days, I really
What a
had...
way to start.
Right, 1930.
But hey, that's a double entendre, everybody.
Well, not quite an entendre.
Oh, well,
There's no
you know
sex
what I mean.
involved. But hang on, it is with him. So,
I did have certain downright terrible kind of thoughts in my mind, and I thought, you know what, life would be okay to live through, and at 65 I want to jump into the Bermuda Triangle with a parachute. That was my thought to how to go out.
but now we're going to understand how the Bermuda Triangle actually works. That may not have been a good idea. It's not going to be a quick way of going.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a quick way.
You may as well just jump into a pool. You're going to
Yeah,
drown.
you're just gonna drown.
yeah, but I'm saying like land on an island and hopefully, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what happens
you're gonna
afterwards.
play Russian roulette
Yeah. Whatever
They
happens.
just play Russian
happens.
roulette.
or Kazakhstan roulette.
Yeah, Kazakh roulette.
Yes, with a horse. Yeah, sure.
Bullet in a ha.
What do you think? What do you think of your like demise time? Like when you have to actually pass and go and let other people take
Oh
over.
man, I'm hoping that by that stage we'll have an actual choice. We'll have a choice. I'm hoping.
Oh,
the
you
next-
mean euthanasia?
I'm hoping in the next 15 years that if I'm diagnosed as being terminal, I'll have the option of saying, okay, I'm going to be dead in 5 years. I'll wait up to 3 years, and when I become incapacitated or debilitated,
can't wipe your
I
own
can
ass.
just turn around and go, thanks, been great.
Play some EDM music, roll some
Yeah,
Molly. yeah.
Who is someone to tell me that I can't live when I'm dying in pain?
The government.
The people around me, the people, the
government.
It's, yeah. Well, actually, that decision isn't government. It's more religious than government, which is what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Church and state separation. That's never happened, yet they always say that.
You know how it
The
is,
church
man.
has too much of a say in people's lives that don't believe in a divine power.
Yeah.
I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I think we should all be entitled. Yes, we need a certain aspect of not control, but there needs to be a leveling, right? There needs to be
A balance?
There needs to be a traffic warden. I understand
okay,
that.
okay,
I
yeah,
understand
So
that.
you want to go out on your own terms,
I
right?
want to go on my own terms. Absolutely. It's a victimless crime.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
I agree.
victimless crime. I've paid for my funeral. My partner's a
mourning.
grant. Well, that's the thing. Do I want people in my life to be in mourning before I'm dead? That's ridiculous. What type of life is that?
Yeah. Where they see you just degrade to nothing.
I mean, I
pretty
saw
much.
my father die of cancer. That's horrible.
Yeah.
The last 2 years of his life were just shit, and they kept him alive. Like,
Yeah,
really?
that's what happened to my grandma.
That's
my grandma.
horrible. Why would you do that? I mean, if there is a divine God, why would you let that happen?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Well, some people would argue that you can fight cancer and they would never stop
But
fighting.
again,
Blah,
there's
blah, blah,
terminal
blah, blah.
stages
Look,
to
but
cancer.
that's one thing to say, I'm going to fight cancer. But once your lungs give in, your limbs give in, your circulatory system gives in, your heart gives in, your brain starts to decay,
You're fine.
your fingers turn blue.
Yeah.
There's really not much to fucking fight for, mate. You can't
even
come
if
back
he,
from
even
that.
if he comes back, he's just becoming
That's
know,
terminal.
limbs.
But
You
like
can't come back from that.
non-terminal cancer is
Well, yeah, but
possible.
That's a
Oh,
different
that's
conversation,
a whole
though.
different
Yeah,
thing.
that's a
As I
different
said,
conversation.
if I got down, because like if someone gave me a year, I'd fight for 6-7 months. If I didn't see an improvement,
Then
there's
bye-bye.
nothing's going to help me.
Yeah.
Three's
You know.
the point.
Well, I've known, well, not known, but known of people that have had colon cancer and didn't know until a week before they died.
Oh shit.
There's some cancers that you just don't know. You think you have something else. You think it could be diabetes too. You could have a chronic situation, and unless it's diagnosed, you don't know. And then it's like a week before they die, they turn and go, well, you have no insides. And a lot of the time, you don't know what's happening inside your system. You can't feel it because the nerve endings end at a certain point.
Yeah.
That's it.
Unless you have like brutal pain, but yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That was dark.
Yeah.
From longevity to death. Hey,
Yeah,
but
but-
they go together.
They go together. That's why it's a perfect topic. What about you, Ken? Do you have a specific way?
45.
Prior to
McDonald's burger
45,
and a Coke.
prior to 45, I thought 20. Then when I got to 20, I thought 30. Now with my girlfriend, so I say 45.
Okay, so now you get to 45 and maybe
It depends
maybe
how.
Once you have kids, I think it's going to be a 60.
Exactly. It depends on my
depends how
life
bad the
state.
kids are.
Exactly. Oh God. It depends on my life state at that moment. The reason
Yeah.
why I said 20 is because in my when I was a teenager, I was like, don't even.
Are you chronically depressed? Would you be someone that you could say chronically depressed? Like that's
I would-
that's your zero level. That's your level.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not a wholly positive.
You just hum
person.
along?
I just hum along.
think
You're like what's his name? I'm so
Functioning
happy.
chronically depressed person.
I'm functional. I'm very functional, but that's because I've had it for half my life.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Are you medicated?
used to be,
Used to be.
but I'm just medicated.
They're illegal now, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the reason why I did a lot of things as I did, because I was finding a source of happiness.
And then we work out that just makes you shit worse.
And it makes you shit
Yeah,
worse.
yeah,
So
yeah.
then I found other ways, family, friends. Well, friends, just
Caring.
friends. Yeah.
I had this conversation with Kevin the other night. There's someone close to me that is just a fucking mess. And then a family member. And then I said, you know what? I'm starting to really think the other way. Like I just thought they're just painful. It's just too much. They had this jealousy thing with Kevin and I about our lifestyle and that we love each other. And then I worked out, you've got no one.
Yeah.
So what is there?
Yeah.
When you have someone to care for, it's not like having a pet, but the same type of thing. When you have to care for someone or something, there's meaning.
Yeah.
And so I can kind of understand
There
when
has to
you
be
have
meaning.
no one to care for. There's no meaning unless your life isn't any broader.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting it. I'm
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
it. You know?
Because I found so much meaning in the later stage of my life, I started to get a lot better, which is why I used to go to like a form of a therapist, and then I stopped because it wasn't helping. And then I just
Well,
from there-
when your therapist is cutting themselves while you're talking to them,
it doesn't help.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
help at all.
So then I moved on to the drugs, partying, and
Yeah.
then from there, when I realized that it wasn't doing anything for me, I was more alone than
Damage
ever.
is done then.
Yeah, then you have to find another way of an out. And then luckily, I found my girlfriend who motivates me every day at this point in my life, and then it's just gonna keep going from here.
Yeah.
Like hopefully, if not, then I'll go back to 30.
Jesus, man.
In the middle
Wow.
of the shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Just stop breathing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the way I actually to answer to your question of how I would go out, I've always had in my head perfectly, right? It would be to go to like a really like flashy room full of like disco balls, roll on some Molly, do some drugs, and just OD.
Well, that was a big thing in the
Wow.
80s.
Imagine you survived that.
With AIDS
Oh, if I
patients.
survive that, then I'm like, I'm fucking living forever.
Well, the AIDS parties, when you'd have a person that was terminal.
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
80s
yeah.
before
They would
anyone
just-
was being
oh,
dead,
yeah, they would just go
have
ham.
a house party or a club party if it was a private club. And they just fucking take so much Molly and so much shit, they just die on the couch. And we were like, okay, he's gone.
Mm.
And instead of being prolonged and going through all that agony.
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
don't
look,
have that anymore.
No, they don't have that
So
anymore.
sad.
Because, well,
I'm saying like
no.
because
but
people
now,
evolved.
but see, now there's light at the end of the tunnel. If you have HIV and not full
It's very
blown AIDS,
manageable, yeah.
HIV, you can actually alleviate your symptoms. Your symptoms cannot be screened if you're taking Humira and stuff like that,
Yep.
different drugs.
Yep.
Whereas back then there was no treatment at all. There was AZT, which is just a horrible thing.
And to think that was only like 40 years ago, right?
Not even
like the
that.
hair
Yeah,
falls
yeah.
out and then your teeth start
well,
falling
AZT
out. And
was a
everything.
form of chemo, basically.
Ugh, chemotherapy just kills people.
So
it's crazy.
it was killing cells while trying to preserve cells, and it would keep you alive. But there was still a sentence. There was still a shortened lifespan. Now, with again, all I really know of is Humira and things like that. You take that, and your life is normal. It's not. You have the same life expectancy as anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Your
have to be very
your
careful.
symptoms don't develop into AIDS. It's interesting where we've come. It's
Technology is amazing.
And again, I'm sorry, and I'm going to be really bleak about this. If religion had anything to do with that, we would not have drugs like that. It would be like it's your fault. Therefore,
Yeah.
God has given you this disease.
I
Why do you have to bring
You know-
God every
you
time?
know
into
what?
this?
It does my head in. Does my head
You
in.
guys should watch you like cartoons? You
I
like
love
cartoons.
cartoons.
You should watch a cartoon called Castlevania. I think you know about this.
Castlevania.
Castlevania is the video game Castlevania?
No.
Okay, it's an old game, NES game where the story is Knight goes beat Dracula, but the cartoon, the adaptation of the video game is amazing. It's about religion, the fight against religion, again, versus everyone else. You, as a person who likes, questioning religion and like as we all do, all three of us. I watched it the other day and it's amazing. It's philosophical. It's great. Watch it and let's talk about it on the show.
Is it funny or
It's light humor, but it's mostly dark. It's like dark cartoon.
There's another cartoon which I can't remember the full name. It's Gary, and he's a demon fighter.
Gary.
It is
I
so
feel like I've
effed
heard
up.
about this
Gary, I can't remember the full title, but it's Gary, and or maybe it's called Gary the Demon Fighter. I'm not quite sure. It's so bad.
Well,
So brilliant.
let's do those research then.
All right,
all right?
yeah,
let's,
yeah.
Let's
sure.
research for the next
Because
time.
this topic really reminded me of some shows that I love that deal with these type of conversations. And
All
I'm just
right.
like, have you seen Barry?
Oh, but with the Hitman.
The Hitman, existential
yeah,
Hitman.
yeah.
This is exactly what he thinks about all the time. What's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the point of doing all
But then
this?
questioning himself
Exactly.
and meeting the acting coach and that changing everything.
Exactly. So he's the personification of a depressed man finding something, in my case.
Very good.
Yeah.
Should stick around at least a couple more years.
Yeah.
There's something there. There's something there.
Maybe. Yeah. If the booze gets too expensive. Anyways.
Oh,
That's it.
man. Well, we went from there to there to there to there.
I got a joke. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I got to pee.
Got to pee what?
Let's end the show.
Oh wow!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess the depressed one there has pretty well called the show. That was
Chronically.
twat. 2 wongs and a white.
Functioning call.
I've been Harshy. This has been Ken. And this has been Tam. And we will see you next time. Bye now.
Bye. Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
So dark.